My check, my check. Is everyone good? Can you guys hear me all right? My studio page wants to load up really slow. I want to make sure that everything is going smoothly. Just a thumbs up will suffice. You know what? If it doesn't load up on my computer, then I can just pull up my phone. Give me a sec. It wants to act up on me. Oh, now it loads. Now it loads. Okay. And I see everyone. 23 people? Welcome, everyone. So many new faces. All right. Let's go ahead and get this started, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, peoples. Kyushu92 here to bring you yet another reaction to Solo Leveling. Apologies for this being a little bit later in the day with Manga Dex. I pretty much down until further notice, they said. Won't be using that to read Solo Leveling anymore, so I'm using one of my previous places. And where am I reading from? From the same place that I read last. Well, actually, not the same place, but I'm reading from levelingsolo.com right now. So I'm not going to keep you guys waiting any more than I already have. So let's go ahead and get started with today's chapter, chapter 145. In the last chapter, we ended on the note of Andre jumping out of his own car to get to where Jin and Dong-su and everyone else was. Then we see that the High Orc that found where Jinno was, exchanged with Jin, and Jin, in response to Dong-su trying to kill that High Orc, punches Dong-su straight in the stomach and sends him flying through the factory where they had Jinno kidnapped. So, let's go and get started with this chapter. I am so excited! Chapter 145. And we have Jinno drinking one of Jin's high elixirs right now. And we have a note here saying, healing potions cannot be used to recover health when HP is less than 10%. Yo. So Jin is trying to heal Jinno, but it's not working because his health is below that 10% threshold. And Jin just looks angry. His face is in shadow, but the aura around him is all purple and lit up, and his eyes are like Batman levels of slit. And they're just glowing right now. And then Jin speaks. Is either one of you a healer? Heal Jinno. And he stares at both of them. And his speech bubble is pure black, and the words are red. He is upset. And since they're the American scavenger, they're American hunters, they can't understand his Korean. We don't speak Korean. And then, Dong-su's up. Dong-su is up. Sung Jin-woo wants you to heal the kid. Is this the first time we've met, Sung Jin-woo? And then, Jin is angry! Final warning. Heal him. You gotta ask my boss, not me. And in an instant, Jin grabs the guy's face. Now, if you remember, there was a black guy there with a big pompadour hairstyle and another guy with light hair and glasses. Jin grabs the glasses guy, breaking the glasses in the process, and grabs his face, kind of like Ichigo grabbed Aizen and, drug him out of Karakura Town way back when in Bleach. he just grabs the glasses guy's face and with one hand, with one hand, he slams the guy's head into a steel support beam with enough force to dent it. And then he looks at the guy, then he looks at the other guy with the pompadour and just says, "Are you also a healer?" And then the guy says, "Mr. Huang Dong-soo, you said this job had nothing to do with Song Jin-woo." And then he says again, and then Jin says again, "Are you able to heal or not?" No, I'm. And he uses what was it? What was it called? What was it called? Monarch's Authority? Whatever that move was called, I forget the name of it. I'm just going to say he's using the force. He just uses the force and just presses the guy into the ground, breaking the ground around him with that much force. He just compressed the guy into the ground. Now we got Dong-soo. Now we got this panel with Dong-soo surrounded in energy. And we got Jin surrounded in energy. Can I show it? No. Copyrighted images can and will lead to me getting copyright strikes on my channel and thus eliminating my ability to ever stream for 6 months. I can't. I know some of you would really like to see these images on screen, but I can't. It's too risky, and I'm not about to put my channel through that. But we have Dong-soo in his aura, his red aura, and then we have Jin in his aura, and he says, "I knew it. You're the one who killed my brother Huang Dong-suk, isn't that right?" And then Jin'o speaks, though it's kind of broken. "Young-nim, Huang Dong-soo, Huang Dong-suk's brother. Please be careful of him." "Don't speak, Jin'o. Answer me, Sung Jin-woo. Did you kill my brother and his teammates?" And now Dong-soo is just standing directly in front of him as they're just staring each other down. Then Jin says, "You can ask him when you see him again." And Dong-soo doesn't say anything, and he immediately goes to try and hit Jin. And Jin easily dodges. And he nails Dong-soo straight in the side, causing Dong-soo to cough up blood. And sends him flying back through the factory again. Oh my goodness. This man just tried to get at Jin, and Jin just sends him flying back through the factory again. And apparently it's with enough force to send him careening through the entire building outside and into another building in the distance. And we see Dong-soo just crumpled up against everything that was in his path that got dragged with him when he got punched. And he opens his eyes with this manic look in there. And before he can even move, Jin is next to him. He got sent flying with such speed and force that he was outside in a split second, and Jin is literally on one part of the rubble that came with him. He's just sitting there perched, staring at Dong-soo like, "Hey man, what took you so long?" And he's just right there staring down at Dong-soo. And Dong-soo tries to go at him again. And Jin brings his hand down, and not only does it bring the structure that Dong-soo was embedded inside down, but it also causes a massive shockwave to happen. And he just this next panel has Jin over Dong-soo with his head embedded in the ground right now. And then he pulls his head up. And I'm guessing that these, I can't read Korean or Korean like a stylization, but I'm guessing this effect is him effectively just wailing on Dong-su right now. Because in this other panel, we see his arm moving and we see blood coming from the direction of where his arm is going. So he's just beating up on Dong-su right now. And Andre just showed up! Andre just showed up! And all he says is, enough. And lands right behind Jin. And then Andre, eyes glowing. And then he says, I told you not to mess with him. Hwang Dong-su, you still alive? And then Jin just says, for now. Seems like you can understand this much. Good. Let him go. If you do, we'll forget that today's events ever happened. And if I don't, I'll have to stop you by force. Yo! And then Jin says, fine by me. And just tosses, just tosses Dong-su behind him like he's a rag doll, like he ain't nothing. I mean, we knew he wasn't nothing beforehand, but the fact that he's holding this dude by the head and beating up on him, and then just throws him away like he's a Raggedy Ann doll, and just says, fine by me, like Dong-su was never even a smidgen of a threat to Jin. We all knew this, but him just throwing him away like he ain't nothing, this just straight up confirms it if you didn't believe it before. And then Dong-su is thinking to himself, yes, very good. You had no choice but to intervene, Thomas. Kill Sung Jin-woo for me. Kill Sung Jin-woo, Thomas. And then it shows Jin standing right in front of Andre, both of their auras just glowing around them. And then Andre says, do you perhaps not know who I am? Then Jin just says, it doesn't matter who you are. And then Andre thinks to himself, he knows who I am and he's still doing this. And now we got a backstory of Andre all of a sudden? I'm sorry? We just got a backstory of Andre all of a sudden? Thomas, and here's some narration, Thomas Andre grew up in a poor immigrant family. He was always surrounded by oppositions. He had nothing to his name, but the skies bestowed him a gift, an extraordinary talent that made him indomitable. Overwhelming strength. The strength to trample on others. Through the countless number of battles he fought, he proved the worth of his talent. He observed the effects his power had against the people who opposed him. Strength, authority, wealth, force, fame, and power. These are the things Goldie Roger obtained after he found the treasure One Piece. Like, this is just reading out like a Gold Roger synopsis. Strength, authority, wealth, force. He lived his life like a king, possessing all those different types of power. And when a different type of power appeared in the world, he took the opportunity to become a true king. He crushed those who blocked his path. Those who looked down on him were made to kneel. Violence was the key. He knew from experience how to deal with those who didn't submit to him. And then Andre just thinks to himself, blame your own ignorance, and tries to grab Jin. And then we have the rest, I guess, of the Scavenger Guild showing up, saying, this is the place! Hurry! Then all of a sudden, there's a massive blast that just tears right next to them. And somebody got thrown with enough force to throw up multiple cars in one direction. And it was Andre. Andre got hit with enough force to drive him all the way back. Now, mind you, he's still standing, but I'm guessing Jin hit him so hard he got sent flying backwards. And there's a slight bruise on Andre's arm from where Jin hit him. Thomas! Master, are you all right? And Thomas doesn't say anything. And then he's just standing there as the rest of the scavenger guild just say, "What are you doing? Get moving!" And they all leave. Yo, it's Kaisel and Igris! We're cutting back to Jin inside the factory now. Take Jinno to the nearest hospital. Make sure that he gets treated no matter what. And Igris is like carrying Jinno while Kaisel is gonna take him. And both Igris, Jinno, and Kaisel just fly away from the area while Jin stays behind. Then we have a massive panel showing Andre and all of his guild members standing there. And then we have Jin, who has brought out all of his soldiers. Every single one of them, all his high orcs, Tusk, everyone. The only one who's not going to be joining in this battle is Igris, because he's taking care of Jinno right now, but he's brought out all of his soldiers. And then Andre just says, "All right, now we're talking. This looks like it'll be worth my time. I don't give a crap about Huang Dong-su now. There is only one way to restore my pride. I'm going to kill that arrogant jerk." You! Jin versus the Scavenger Guild. It's happening right now. Okay, that's the end of the chapter. Okay, let me just see what you all have said thus far. Oh my goodness. Jin versus the Scavenger Guild. Beru's not here too. So Jin is basically missing two of his top people, because out of everyone, Igris and Beru are the top people in all of his army. But Beru's looking after his mom and sister, and Igris is in charge of getting Jinno to a hospital, so he's not going to be able to join into the fight yet. I don't know how things are going to turn out in the next chapter next week. I'm looking forward to it. If you read the light novel, do not give me any expectations, not even a smidgen of a hint, not even a hair of a spoiler, because, hey, it keeps my reactions for you guys completely genuine when I am completely oblivious. So, but let's just talk about this, okay? Dong-su really did try his best to fight Jin in this chapter. Wow, I actually got done with that a lot faster than I was expecting. But Dong-su really did think that he was going to have a chance against Jin. Like, he really did think that he had a chance to actually win. And then Jin just, right when, the thing is, in the last thing we see is Jin, in the last chapter. Abteen, if these are spoilers, I do not want to know. You are not helping. I don't want to know anything concerning any spoilers. I don't care how good they are. Do not say them in chat. I've already removed one person entirely from this channel because they felt like I needed to know. I don't need to know. Do not say anything about what's going to happen. I don't want to know. I like to expect things. I like to hope for things and make theories. I can't make anything like that if you're trying to Tell me in chat. Do not. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know whatsoever. Thank you, Aptine, for understanding. But the thing is, Dong-su really did think he had a chance trying to fight Jin. I mean, in the last chapter, Jin just sent him flying through the factory. Then he tries to square up against Jin again, and then just proceeds to just straight up punch him through the factory again. Tusk is S-Class too, right. But Igris and Beru are the top two. Tusk is strong, but Igris and Beru are the top two. But overall, I have to say this chapter, I enjoyed this chapter. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really did enjoy it. This chapter fell short. To each their own. I don't see how it fell short because I'll say this. It was a setup chapter, but it was a setup chapter that had stuff going on in it. Like, were we really expecting for Jin to have a knockdown drag out with Dong-su? No, Dong-su is weaker than Jin, so it wasn't going to be a long fight. It was only going to be 2 hits. Jin hitting Dong-su and Dong-su hitting the floor. That is the only 2 hits that were going on. And even when that happened, Jin just proceeded to beat on him while he was down. And Jin still didn't wear socks. You know good and well that Jin don't like to wear socks in his shoes. The only reason why I feel like he don't wear no socks is because his shoes are insulated on the inside. You ever had some dress shoes on? They don't have insulation inside of them. They're like inner shoe cardboard where it will cut your foot up if you don't got no socks on. So either he got some insulated shoes or his durability is to a point where he can't feel it cutting into his ankle. Could you ever try to wear dress shoes with thin socks and you try walking for long periods of time and it just cuts into the back half of your ankle? It just feels like that. I feel like Jin's durability is to the point where he can wear dress shoes with no socks on and it not cut into his circulation that way. That's just a theory of mine. But did we actually honestly think that Dong-su was going to put up any sort of a fight against Jin? Like, he crushed the 2 people that were with him as if there were nothing. Smashed one into a support beam and literally just flattened another one with the force and just crushed him. Then Dong-su tries to fight him, and he gets sent right back through the factory again, and when Jin gets to him, he takes his head and slams him further into the ground, and then proceeds to just beat on him constantly over and over and over and over and over again until Andre shows up. And this is kind of what Dong-su was hoping for, because Dong-su was actually hoping that Andre would be there, so in order to keep Jin from killing him, he would have Andre fight Jin, and then have Andre try and kill Jin in some weird, twisted way of getting revenge for Jin killing his brother. But Dong-su is pretty much out of this fight right now, and Andre made it. We find out that the power bestowed upon him gives him overwhelming strength, and I feel like we're going to see that in the next chapter. I am looking forward to it. And just seeing how strong Thomas gets. But overall, just seeing the rest of the Scavenger Guild get there, and we see a long panel. We see a long panel of the Scavenger Guild in one panel. Whole bunch of Scavenger Guild members there. Then we see all of Jin's Shadow Soldiers. We see Tusk, we see Iron, we see Tank, we see everyone. And it's just like, this is going to be an all-out war between one guild and another guild. And boy. Remember in the last chapter where 2 of the guild members were saying, like, we're going to have to start writing up some invoices to cover damages, aren't we? Yeah, we might as well get started on it right now. Well, this chapter just pretty much confirms that, yeah, it's about to get massive in the collateral damage scope of things. If you thought Dong-su getting smashed through this factory and then seeing Jin just crush him, and then all the destruction that we've seen from just Jin, playing with Dong-su was anything, then we get this whole synopsis of how Andre grew up and how he was blessed with strength, wealth, fame, power, force, authority, everything. Those who did not follow him those who did not follow Andre were made to kneel before him. So now we got a person who's overwhelmingly strong. At least from what this narration told us, we got a person who's overwhelmingly strong versus a person who's also overwhelmingly strong. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? Something's gonna happen when those two collide. And it's not gonna be good for anyone else who's underneath that level. Kind of I feel like we're gonna have a moment where it's just like Roger versus Whitebeard, especially if you've been seeing the recent episodes with One Piece, where Roger and Whitebeard fought each other, especially when they first clash, and it just sent the whole area into an uproar, the destruction, the massive force from their blows and everything. It is like that. It is basically a Roger versus Whitebeard type fight when they're in their prime. It's just the area around them is not going to survive. So all I know is this chapter was good. I enjoyed it. And the fact that Jin didn't even care who Andre was, he does not care. That's the thing. He knows of Andre. He knows that he's a national level hunter, yet he does not care. Jin has become so strong to the point where national level hunters are not on his radar enough to warrant him to have any hint of worry. I don't know what we're going to expect in the next chapter, but the fact that Jin has gotten to a level where it's all like, I don't care who you are. If I choose to beat up on Dong Su, I'm going to do it. And what if I don't want to stop? And Andre's all like, I'll be forced to stop you. And then he just throws Dong Su away like, okay, then bet. Let's see what you got. And then he just squares up against his entire scavenger guild. A guild versus guild. OP person versus OP person. I don't know. What is the name of the author who does solo leveling? What is this person's name? What is this person's name again? I need to look this up. Who is the creator of solo leveling? Written by Chugong. South Korean web novel written by Chugong. Okay, so Chugong, this person may never, ever watch anything that I do. They may never watch this at all. But all I know is, remember what Kamish said. Are you saying will be... Chapter 146 will be released in 2 hours, I think? Wait, we're getting 2 chapters today? No. Are we? There are 4 people having power of the rulers. Well, it wouldn't surprise me that Andre would have that power. But that sounds like something we'll find out in another chapter, so Abteen, you know what I just said. Don't try to allude to anything. Let me find out that way. But are we getting chapter 146? Ain't no way. Are we? Are we getting 2 chapters today? Are we not? We're not getting... Oh, so we're not getting 2 chapters? I want to make sure. I want to make sure. He did it for Season 2's opening? Okay. So does this mean that this is the opening of Season 3 then? Just telling the last chapters. Yes, but the insinuation, just gotta be careful. Just a placeholder for next week's chapter. Okay. Thank you, Kong Her. Thank you. Okay, because I had a feeling. We knew about it from previous chapters, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but I'm just being careful. I'm just being careful. If Andre doesn't in fact have a power from one of the rulers, because of what Kamish has said, because it's too much of a coincidence for Kamish to actually bring that up, and now Jin is fighting someone we know next to nothing about in terms of what their power actually is. Too much of a coincidence. So Abteen does actually bring up a very, very good point. But overall, I'm looking forward to the next chapter. But I'm not going to keep you guys any longer than I already have, because 45 people? Where did y'all come from? I've never had that many people here before. What y'all here for? Y'all here for me? Y'all Y'all here for this reaction? I already went through it and I was talking to it a little bit. But I don't want to keep this any longer than I already have, because I actually managed to get through this chapter very, very quickly. I actually managed to get through this kind of fast. So I'm not gonna keep going any longer than I already have, because I'll just keep monologuing. And if I've missed anything, which I highly doubt that I did, but I'll just go back through that chapter real quick. Like, going through the beginning, Jin's there, and he's asking if anyone's able to heal Jino. Tries to fight Dong-su, and he hit Dong-su with enough force to actually tear his shirt. Crushes the guy with the glasses, slams him into a support beam. Then the guy with the pompadour gets force crushed into the ground. Dong-su tries to square up. Man, so many new faces are popping up in my chat right now. Chat is really active. Here to see you, bro, the best solo leveling narrator. Y'all too kind. Y'all too kind. I'm not worthy. I'm just a guy who likes to entertain people. Don't put me on a pedestal or anything. I just like doing this. If people like it, then hey, that just works out fine for me. Then Jino saying, "Be careful of Dong-su." Jin is telling him to not speak. Dong-su tries to square up and punch him. Jin sends him flying right back through the factory again, like he ain't do nothing. Sends him flying back through the factory, and then outside the factory, and then into another building. International faces, bro, from Brazil. Welcome, everyone. If you ever come from... I always love it when people from different countries always come by my streams. I feel like, wow, my channel is reaching international waters. I never thought I'd see the day, but I always love it when people from different countries come by. But I'm just going through these chapters, and then I'm going to call it a session here for today, because I don't want to keep monologuing with you guys, because I don't want to bore you. But Dong-su gets sent flying into a building, breaking like a massive pipe. Breaking it, and Dong-su's all like, "What hit me?" And before he can even move from the spot he landed in, Jin is already sitting on that same pipe that broke, just staring at him. And before anything happens, Jin just slams him into the ground. From India, from Algeria. Wow, man, so many people from different countries. I love it. I love the diversity. I absolutely love it. It says that chapter 146 will be in an hour. Did read the light novel, and the next chapter will be awesome. Don't set my expectations. Don't give no hints, no nothing like that. I love it when I don't know what the next chapter is going to hold, because helps my reaction stay genuine for you guys. If it's coming in an hour, I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know, Cohagen. I get the feeling like it's just there for a placeholder, and it's not actually going to be another chapter. That's the feeling that I'm getting. That's just the vibe that I'm getting from this. Because going over to it, I see this 1 hour as well, but I don't know if it's actually going to be another chapter. Yeah, and looking at people down in the comments from Iran, welcome. From people down here in the comments of this page, they're saying, wait, it says in 2 hours, there's another chapter. Will we get 2 chapters? And a person says, first time here, mate. If you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. It's always like this. See you next week. So it is, they always do that for this page. They always have it saying like it's about to come in the next hour. And then you find out that you got a bunch of days waiting for the next chapter to come out. So I don't think chapter 146 is coming out today. It will come out next week. From the Philippines, yeah, it's just like other people are saying. Destruct is saying it, and other people are saying it on the comments of this page. Yeah, we have another week. It's happened before. It does this. This site does this. It'll say that it has an hour, but it actually doesn't have one. Because I actually tried looking at it one time, and it didn't actually have another chapter go out. But going through this synopsis again, is it actually getting too dark? No, it's not. Because it's kind of foggy outside. So I just want to make sure you guys are able to see me. But going back through this chapter, he's got Dong-Su's head in a vice grip and just beats on him. Just continuously beats on him. And then Andre lands behind him, telling him to stop. Asking if Dong-Su's alive. And Jin says, he is for now. And then Andre is asking him, good, let him go. If you do, we'll forget that today's events ever happened. And Jin is all like, what if I don't? And then Andre says, I'll stop you by force. Which site? Levelingsolo.com. That's where I'm reading from today. Because that's the one that actually got it, the page is up and running for me to read it to you guys. Then Dong-Su is thrown through the air, hoping that Andre will be the one to kill Sung Jin-woo for him. And then Andre's all like, do you not know who I am? Do you perhaps not know who I am? I told you I'd give him a surfer voice. Jin's all, it doesn't matter who you are. Then we get the narration. Thomas Andre grew up in a poor immigrant family, always surrounded by oppositions. Had nothing to his name, but the skies bestowed him with a gift, an extraordinary talent that made him indomitable, overwhelming strength, the strength to trample on others. Through the countless number of battles he fought, he proved the worth of his talent. He observed the effects his power had against the people who opposed him. Strength, authority, wealth, force. He lived his life like a king, possessing all those different types of power. And when a different type of power appeared in the world, he took the opportunity to become a true king. He crushed those who blocked his path. Those who looked down on him were made to kneel. Violence was the key. He knew from experience how to deal with those who didn't submit to him. Blame your ignorance. And in this moment, we see the rest of the Scavenger Guild come up to the location, and like people in cars get to them. And then the rest of the guild members, who are all gizzied up in full gear, get there as well. And in that instance, Andre is blown straight back, toppling multiple cars, like literally just throwing cars in the air. Remember Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, whenever you ran past a car and that car just instantly just got thrown out of the way? Yeah, just picture that happening to all those cars, just getting thrown off to the side as Andre is punched straight out of the building. And Andre is still standing after that, like he just got shoved back. You know the anime punch recoil, when you get punched here, and then you are still on your feet, and you still hold your ground, but you just skid backwards. The fact that Andre is fighting Jin, and he's getting, all these things are happening. All these things are happening to Andre, yet this man's flip-flops still stay on. I know for a fact that if I wear flip-flops, and I get pulled back rapidly, my feet are not keeping a grip on them flip-flops. Here I go monologuing again. I am sorry, I just got off on a whole nother tangent, but Andre is sent reeling back. And everyone is all like, Thomas! And he's motioning them for them to stay back. And everyone immediately leaves because without Andre even saying anything, everyone immediately gets the picture and says like, what are you all doing? Get moving! And they basically all get out of the way. Then he has Igris take Jino to a hospital along with Kaisel. And they just fly off with Jino to the nearest hospital. Then we have a nice, well-drawn and animated panel. Well-drawn panel with Andre standing with the rest of his crew. And then we have Jin, respectively, standing with all of his crew, all of his giants, all of his soldiers, all of his mages. Every single one of them, all of them just standing in front as the Scavenger Guild prepares to fight with the Ajin Guild. And the last words we see from this panel is, "Alright, now we're talking. This looks like it'll be worth my time. I won't give a crap about Huang Dong-su now. There's only one way to restore my pride. I'm gonna kill that arrogant jerk." Now, mind you, in this speech bubble, he says something completely different, but I don't use profanity, so I always use workaround words. But yeah, massive fight's about to happen, and I'm closing the window, and I am done. I'm done. This was a fantastic chapter, and how did I manage to squeeze this all the way out to 41 minutes? I am sorry, everyone. I'm sorry if I bored you. How long do you think Andre's guild members will last? This is going to get really heated, judging from what happened now. Then maybe he should have killed all and shadowed them. My thing is, what is this going to do for the guild conference as well? Like, with the people who are at the guild conference, what's gonna happen with everyone there once they find out that Jin is fighting with Andre? And not to mention the talks about Jin's father supposedly being responsible for the death of Christopher Reed. How is relations between the Ajin Guild and Jin with the guild conference and everyone joined with them? How is that going to go after this whole fight with Andre? These are just theories that I have, but this just opens up a whole new can of worms for Jin and everyone else involved. With the devastation that is clearly about to happen with Jin versus Andre, I feel like there's going to be repercussions, I would like to believe. Personally. If you read the light novel and you know what's going to happen, don't say anything. But I just honestly feel like there's going to be massive repercussions over two national level hunters fighting it out in the midst of a conference where all other guilds should be paying attention and be joining in and doing things like this. So I don't know. But how long do I think Andre's guild members will last? I mean, it depends on how strong the members are. I mean, we know the only people who will have absolutely no problem fighting with any of the opposition is Jin and Andre. Everyone else, it's anyone's game, I want to say. But Jin and Andre are the only ones who pretty much would be able to fight any other member. So, I don't know. We'll have to find out in the next chapter. But overall, I enjoyed this chapter. When does the chapter come out? The chapter is already out. I read it at levelingsolo.com if you want to read it there. That's where I just read it from, Snow. So, with that being said, I'm going to conclude it here for today. I just want to say everyone, every single person, every single one of you who have shown up to my reaction here today, as we get even closer to a full 2K subs, 2,000 subscribers for this channel, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for giving me the chance to entertain you all. I absolutely love to do this, and the more people I'm entertaining just means that the more I hope I'm putting smiles on your faces as I, do all of this. So I just want to say thank you for letting me be someone who can entertain you for these 44 minutes, soon to be 45. So I'm just eternally grateful. But with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.